Well, Lee, huge congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, we work and work and work all by ourselves, and to be recognized by readers is great, but to be recognized by the trade is wonderful, yeah.
And you've created a huge amount of books now. How do you keep doing it? What's your secret?
I think that actually that's upside down. The thriller writers, the pulp writers of the past would do 20 books a year. I've only done 23 in 23 years, so I feel like a total slacker.
Could you consider yourself underproducing?
Absolutely.
Well, maybe you can write some more then.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's my golden opportunity. What do you find most fulfilling about writing and the publishing process? What's the funnest part for you? Or does it change with every book?
On one level, I'm really, really happy to write a great sentence or a good paragraph. There's a lot of technical satisfaction in that. But really, it's when I see somebody reading the book or somebody walks up to me and says, I really like that book, then it's working. Because I believe a book is a transaction. First it is written, then it is read, then it exists. So the reader creates the book just as much as the writer, and to know that process is working is really great for me.
And what would you say to people who think that maybe people aren't reading as much, or that people aren't reading thrillers as much? What would you say? Because you meet these people every day. Why are books always going to stay with us? Because I think they always will.
They will. It's like a virus that sleeps in the soil. It'll never be killed. It'll always keep popping out. There's a tremendous, huge appetite for narrative. And we see narrative everywhere. A 30-second television commercial has a narrative. The question for us is how do we move that interest to the printed book as opposed to a video or television or a movie or whatever? And they will always be there, because at the end of the day, a book is it's non-technological. It doesn't matter if you drop it in the bath. It doesn't need a battery. It never runs out. It never goes wrong. Never needs rebooting. A book is totally reliable, so it'll always be there. People will always return in waves. What I would like to see, obviously, more people, bigger waves, but we're doing pretty well at the moment. It's not that bad considering the immense amount of competition for people's time. Yeah. I think it's actually pretty encouraging.
And over the years, how have you seen the role of the author change, or do you think it has, and potentially the book industry in general? Do you see a difference in bookshops, in readers, in the way you write?
Yeah, I think it used to be that the book was the thing and nobody really ever knew or thought about the author. And now the author is very much identified with the book, especially in terms of promotion. We spend a lot more time promoting. The author is in the market just like the book is in the market. That's the biggest change for me, which is fundamentally difficult, actually, because I call writing show business for shy people. So we are pretty shy, actually, and yet we have to spend an awful lot of time on stage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What do you think makes a good book? Or a good thriller? What really grips you in a book, and what do you try to put into yours?
I say there's only two kinds of book. The kind that makes you miss your stop on the subway, and the kind that doesn't. And, Michelle Obama's book would. Non-fiction can. A great thriller can. Anything can. If it's well written, absorbing, gripping, suspenseful, doesn't matter what the genre is, doesn't matter what the format is. If you're the guy that is still buried in the book when the train comes to a halt at the terminus and you realize you should have gotten off 45 minutes ago, then that book is working.
And if you could go back a little bit to Lee, who was writing the first book, would you tell him anything? Would you tell him about tonight, or would you keep it a secret? Would you give him any advice?
I would, the advice I would say is pay more attention. My first book came out, I was thinking about my second book, and I should have enjoyed it more. I should have lived in the moment a little more.
That makes sense. Well, thank you so much, Lee, and huge congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Incredible. Please keep writing. We need more. Thank you.
Sure.